Come on, can we have someone make a call?
Yeah.
No, it's right. You know Norma.
I mean,
Yes.
it's every
Yeah.
Thursday.
Yeah, I was talking to her last night. She's like, "Do you know Elisa?" I was like, "Yeah, I do."
Alright, she asked me.
What's this?
So you guys can write down your answers.
I got a calculator.
No, I don't trust you.
A calculator.
Everyone is running. Nope, oh my god. Well, I was sleeping on the inside.
That's crazy, bro.
Where is everybody?
That's
What?
right.
Looks like I'm winning today.
I'm
Where is everybody?
That was really crowded.
It usually.
Today's gonna be the best class ever.
I
No,
said,
bro. Good morning.
Best class ever.
Alright, now the party's here.
Never mind.
Why are you running away?
Why are you running
It
away?
hurts our feelings
She's
too.
scared.
That's crazy, dude.
Better give them down those grams.
What do you want to put?
the TikTok time.
Why?
Like that.
Plug it.
What is today? It's just normal Thursday, right?
Well, there is NARAP and WCR had a breakfast.
That's
There's so many things going on.
Today is a busy day.
Busy day.
All right, well, Johnny gets back.
Well, I'm here to learn. I don't know.
With some people on Zoom, have a good chance of winning.
Can I make an announcement since no one here is here yet? Before more.
No, you want people to come. You want people to come to your announcement.
Everybody
All right.
knows about our tailgating party tomorrow?
Sean, why don't you just take it away, Sean?
Alright, good morning Zoom. And hello. So tomorrow at 3 o'clock at Escrow, we're having a tailgating party. We're gonna have appetizers and drinks, wear your favorite jersey. And come by.
So tomorrow's Jersey Day, huh?
Tomorrow is Jersey Day, tailgating party. Oh,
Actually, where you're
so, 3 o'clock.
Remind me.
Apps, appetizers.
Apps.
Everybody, we're gonna make our own. It's a surprise.
Wait, what?
my coffee.
Like,
That means they don't know yet.
I know, I'm making like a chili. I thought it was a surprise. Well, you don't have to put it
Don't expose my
Tailgate food.
Cool.
So steak and lobster.
Appetizers. Tailgate. That's what I eat.
Taco?
Tailgate. Shut your appetizers.
Stop stalking.
Okay. Andrew wants us to go play the game because he wants to win the gift card. So, Price is Right, closest to the house without going over wins the game gift card.
All right, we got some new faces in here, new people online. So how the game works: these houses sold in the last 14 days, not by KW agents.
Not.
Closest to the actual sales price, without going over. If you're $1 over, you're a big loser. Too sad.
So it has to be, should we have like, should it be like something hills? Should they tell us at least something?
No, it's just Tehachapi.
But that's
That looks
huge.
like.
So is Antelope Valley.
But at
How
least
many
we go
acres?
East Lancaster, West Lancaster,
That
Palmdale.
looks like Bear Valley.
That looks like Tehachapi.
That looks like Stallion Springs.
Stallion Springs.
Look how big the lot size is.
That's a lot of fun.
Alright. Ooh, this is cute.
That's nice.
I like that barnyard kitchen right there.
Hey.
Or the sink. Ooh, I like that land too.
I would have, who says, I think
I wrote mine
Stallion
down.
Springs.
I'm sure. Who's that?
Alright.
All right, what are you guys' guesses?
Okay.
$394? $394.9. I like it. I hope it's $394.85. I'm just kidding.
Oh.
Guess what it sold for?
That's 200.
Online we got $475, $395, $389, $520, $420, $425, $430, $400.
Alright,
We all got our guesses in?
Oh, look at that.
Very
That's not, that's not
Is that Bear Valley?
Okay.
That's Bear Valley.
Yes, okay.
I say Stout.
Look, that's Bear Valley.
No, I'm pretty sure it's Tehachapi.
All
I
right.
think you're right.
All right, actual retail price without going over is
Andrew, I'm not even an agent.
What did you say?
478.
479.
479.
I didn't work it.
Anyone on Zoom? 475. What you have? 479.
That's good.
That's only 1,000 off. Anybody get it directly? No.
Did you look at the price?
No.
Ramsey's with the win.
He called in a favor.
Ramsey's, you go to the game Saturday?
He's cheater.
The what game? Oh, the Kings game?
Dustin Brown retiring his jersey.
I don't know.
Oh, I'll be there.
You will?
I'm there.
How you doing?
I don't know.
All right, next one is West Palmdale, 5-bedroom, 4-bath, built in 2005, and 3,500 square feet on a 7,000 square foot lot.
That's a big open
It's
area.
big, but very plain.
Very nice, very plain. Bring your own paint.
They even have a spot to build a deck. They just didn't finish it.
2 AC units.
Ooh, 2 AC units.
That's about this.
One behind the other.
2 weeks, you said?
Last
Go
two
back to the
weeks.
specs, yeah.
All right, what do you guys think?
723, I see the number.
723.9. Bye, buddy.
Yeah,
Don't you second guess because you heard a higher guess. Don't second guess yourself.
Hold on. Hang on here.
On Zoom, we got 640, 577,
Do I get to get
620,
myself?
615, 500, 625, 597, 609, 549.
Is it in a gated community?
Yeah, I just sold it.
You didn't just sell it.
Need to scrub it better. Oh, yeah, that was Charlie's room.
All right, are we ready?
Actual retail price
I want
without going over is.
to bring that
I told you not to change that. 580. I would've got more. 585?
585?
We got on Zoom, anything closer?
No, Tiffany's is 585. That doesn't count.
Give that $585.
Jason's got jokes today. We got the class clown up here.
Congratulations.
It's been like a few weeks since you won. You normally win like every other week.
I know.
Yeah.
I usually wait for her to put hers up so I can.
Get close.
That she doesn't share.
I know.
Okay, last one, West Palmdale, 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, built in 1997, 2,600 square foot house on a 7,000.
That's Round Hill Drive off 70th and L. M in between.
Where? 70th?
I'm guessing. I don't know.
It has a little bit of solar. Can you see that?
Wow.
Oh, those are nice. I love those wood countertops.
It's different.
It is open.
Butcher block.
It's pretty.
Butcher block, yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, that's definitely
Is
over
that
there.
like Stratford Ranch?
Yes. I'm guessing that's what that is.
Should we go back to the first one?
Alright.
I think you're right.
Yeah, because that's the same year built, same.
No,
Is that
it's over
solar?
by Rose. It's
Or is
over
that
by-
pool water?
That's just a little bit of solar.
It's
That's not enough for the house.
There might be solar on the other side.
Did it have a pool?
What are you guys thinking here on Zoom? We got 620, 615, 600, 587. What are you guys thinking in here?
549.
549? What was that?
549.
549? 575?
569.
569?
645.
645?
565.
565, 625? I got some good guesses.
That number? More than the last one?
Well, yeah.
I'm going 589.
Me too.
Yeah.
And you know what? To make it even.
Actual retail price without going over is. Oh! You got it exactly? 565.
Jason,
Finally got one.
Nobody else on Zoom got it exactly right?
Anybody else?
Man, now I'm not gonna have gift cards to give the team this week.
All right, so thank you guys, and don't forget, come by On Track tomorrow, 3 o'clock, appetizers, no lobster. Chips, dip, and drinks, so come on by.
Thank you so much.
Good.
Thank you, Shauna.
Wow, you just leave it.
Should- Put that somewhere. JD, you're teaching a class?
I guess, I forgot about that.
Oh, so JD's teaching the class February 22nd, 9 to 10, over at the East Side office, guys. That's not here at this office, it's over at the East Side office. What you'll learn is the flow of conversation, the type of scripts to start with, myths of scripts, and the next level of scripts. So scan the code if you want to go, so that way there's enough food for everybody. And that's next week. Did I miss anything on that, JD?
No,
That's
no,
in 2 weeks.
come hungry.
I'm hungry.
That's in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Are we having pizza?
Yeah, what's lunch?
If that's available.
At 9 o'clock.
That's okay.
That's all.
It's never too early for pizza.
Otto's doing the food, I don't know who or what, but yeah, we'll feed you.
All right.
It's
Man,
today.
good timing. You just came in. Do you want to come up real quick and just share when your guys' first social committee meeting is
Right.
and what we'll be doing?
The second.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
Congratulations, you guys all joined.
Okay, well, we're having our social committee first one today at 11. If anybody would like to stay for a few minutes, we're gonna keep it to about half an hour because we need to get together with CARES right after. But it's gonna be a fun year and we need as much help as we can because we have to get creative this year, do things a little differently. So we'll be here at 11.
So anyone can join?
Anyone can join, second Thursday after the office meeting.
Awesome. Guys, all the fun stuff that we do in the office is all done by the agents. Any ideas and different events, it's always the social committee meeting is putting on those great family events. Like last year, we went to the park. We had a great time at the Fin and Feather. All that stuff is put on by the agents, so if you'd like to participate and support. Also, it's a great way to network and get to know your agents, especially if you're newer and you're like, hey, I'd like to know a top producer, get my offers accepted, but they like me, so now they're friends because we have relationships. It's a great way to
Yeah,
meet
it works
people.
like that.
It's also good. It's also fun.
I can guarantee you, if you have a good relationship with someone, at least you have a better chance of getting that offer accepted.
No, it's really fun and we do network a lot. We do a lot of fun things and we'd love input from different people. We are having our first event this coming Tuesday. It'll be a Valentine's themed potluck at noon, so we'd love to see everybody there. A flyer, I'm gonna try to get it right now from, is Mondo here?
No, but
No.
Michael.
We're ready.
Okay. I'm gonna try to get the flyer out today.
Very
And then we will have a featured vendor,
Renee.
Renee, and she'll come and just share some new and exciting things she has.
And
Are we in here?
In here,
Yes,
yeah.
and girls will raffle a basket for Valentine's. so-
Okay.
Oh, I need to win that, so something for my wife.
Yes,
Yeah.
it will be fun.
So it's gonna be a lot of fun and another way to really network and keep your ear out there for things that are coming up, so.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Lana. I really do encourage everybody to get involved with, it's like we run kind of like a church, and the reason why the big churches are successful is they have small groups and communities where people can build relationships and come together. And these committees are meant for that. They're meant for community and coming together and forming relationships. So stick around after the meeting and join. Jason, let's get fit.
Yeah.
Let's get fit.
All right.
Can we just appreciate these great little, what are these called? Emojis?
Fit
Bit
emojis.
emojis? Those are very
They're
good.
called fit emojis.
Fit emojis. I like how you're super strong and Jamie's jumping a rope.
It is white pants.
That's perfect. That's perfect for Jimmy.
I'll change the bottom pants.
Jimmy did it.
Jimmy did,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
so.
Yes. Yeah, so we're gonna have our first committee meeting next Wednesday at 10. We're gonna talk about events that we're gonna plan for the year. I think our first one's gonna be a hike, but I want everyone to stop by and join because we're gonna talk about our goals for the year or for the month and just have that healthy lifestyle.
Yeah.
Right here in the training room next Wednesday at 10.
I think I need to go.
Do we have to work?
Everywhere you gotta.
Who's watching?
Everywhere you gotta work. Yeah.
I'll bring
Also,
snacks.
2 Super Bowl squares. We do have some slots left. If you can, or if you haven't yet, buy some. Yes.
All right. Thanks, Jason.
Thank you, Jason.
So, Keller Williams, guys, we're not just focused, obviously, on businesses. There's a lot of aspects to our life, from spiritual to physical to everything else that we find important. And so, being physically fit is incredibly important for our well-being. And last year, John suckered me into doing a bunch of stuff that was terrible. Me and JD almost died.
Closest to death I've ever been.
And on where were we at? Bear Mountain?
Big
Bear.
Big Bear.
Big Bear.
It's not
Hiking
that
up a
big,
mountain
Bear.
with a stupid 30-pound pack on my back. And I see Alexis just walk past me and go back down and I'm like,
You made it.
that was
But
terrible.
you made it.
It was fun. We did survive.
We did get a nice little medal.
Yeah. We can't wait to go back.
It's not that bad, Gary. Don't scare him away.
It's not just.
You didn't have to go to that. Only
I
a few
threw
of
the
us went
medal
to
in
that.
there, I was like,
Yeah, don't scare everyone. All right, lead generation with command ads with Mike Serrano. We're going to dive into a little bit of lead generating today for some ideas. Mike's going to be teaching this on Friday at 1?
11.
Friday at 11 in here. So if you're unsure how to run the command ads, come to the class, learn how to do it because command ads work. Well, you know they work because there's someone sitting right in front of me who's killing it with command ads and doing a great job. The whole team is killing it, just mainly using command ads. So come in and learn how to do that. Anyone guys know what this is?
A cell phone?
Wow. Zune. Oh.
It's a Zune!
Yes.
All right.
What is that?
So you guys know who, oh man, my brain doesn't want to work. Simon Sinek is? Everyone know who Simon Sinek is?
Yes.
You heard of him before?
Got that?
Yeah, smart guy, right? He's wrote a few books called One Start With Why, Leaders Eat Last, and then The Infinite Game. And so Simon Sinek, in the beginning of The Infinite Game, he talks about a story where he was at Microsoft. He was one of the keynote speakers for their convention. And about 75% of the speakers there were consistently talking about what they're going to do to compete with Apple and beat Apple. Right? That was their big message. How are we going to beat Apple? He gave his keynote speech. When he was done, they gave him the Zune. The Zune was the iPod killer. It was better user face, it was prettier, it was beautiful, it worked better, and it was going to be cheaper. Like, it was going to crush the iPod. It was very an impressive tool that they gave. A few months later, Simon Sinek was a keynote speaker for Apple. 100% of their executives only spoke about their vision in the future. They didn't concentrate on the competition, they were just focused on what their mission and vision was. After the conference, Simon Sinek shared a cab with one of the top executives, and he couldn't help himself. He asked them, he said, have you guys seen the new Zune? And are you worried? It's better, it's faster, it's a better product. And the executive just replied and said, I have no doubt. He didn't care. A few months later, Apple announced the iPhone. Who won?
Definitely the Zoink.
Yep. That was Apple.
The Zune. The Zune? Exactly.
What's this called?
How many of you guys have heard of the Zune?
No.
I remember.
A couple of us. They still sell them. They're actually a cool product, right?
Still?
How many of us have heard of an iPhone?
At the flea market.
What changed the world?
iPhone.
Did it change the world?
Gotta change
Yes.
It changed the world, right?
One phone at a
Yeah,
time.
maybe I don't think they're better if they have been.
So here's the difference, guys. Microsoft was playing a finite game, right? There was clearly defined endpoint. How do we win this market? How do we beat Apple in this thing? Right? Think of a football game. A set of rules. There's a winner and a loser. Everyone's playing a game. It's a finite game. In an infinite game, all parties are working to keep a game in play. There are no winners and losers, but rather those that drop out of the game due to a lack of will or resources to continue playing. So here at Keller Williams, guys, we're playing the infinite game. If you look at a lot of our competition, they are definitely playing a finite game. If you look at some of the executives at other companies, they're saying what they can do, why they're the new Keller Williams, the better Keller Williams. They're better at this. If you hear our leadership and what we're talking about, we don't care. We're saying, how do we make our agents better every single day? Because we're playing a different game than they are. Right? So how are you playing, and what game are you playing in your business? And how are you playing the infinite game to kind of change your clients' lives and change your life? Make sense?
Yes.
All right, that's my soap opera for today. Now we're going to talk about mortgage hacks. Mortgage hacks. All right, so welcome to Mortgage Hacks. Every one of you got an email. You'll get this sent out to you. You already got it. It's in your email. It was sent out this morning or late last night with a workbook. It's a PDF of this version, so I encourage you to print it out and use some of the materials. The idea behind this, guys, is to get you thinking and what you can do. A couple different things. We need to be talking to our database, correct?
Yes.
We need to be the economists of choice, correct? So they know what we're doing.
Yep.
We need to be able to get our buyers into escrow that are struggling right now, right? Yes.
Absolutely.
This hits all those things. I like saying, I stole this from Mark King, but I love saying I'm ambitiously lazy. If I could do one thing that knocks out 4 important things for me, I'm gonna do that, right? Because then I have a lot more time to myself. So if I could do one thing that talks to my clients, helps my people get through transactions, helps me become an economist of choice, I'm going to take action on that thing instead of trying to do 19 different things at once. So, in quarter 4, 2022, the National Association of Home Builders stated that home buyer sentiment hit the lowest level since 2011. Why? The number one reasons is interest rates. Interest rates. Interest rates. In order to best serve their customers, real estate agents need to assess their current lender partners' effectiveness to operate in this higher rate environment. Now is the time to get educated on the myriad of programs available designed to assist both buyers and sellers who still wish to transact at the most favorable terms. We talk a lot about we are the fiduciary of choice, right? We are the fiduciary for our clients. How can we be an effective fiduciary if we don't know all the options out there for our clients? I hear agents sometimes say that, oh, talk to the lender. That's up to the lender. They, see what the lender, what they have. Are you being a great fiduciary if you don't know some options? Yes. Being a terrible. If you are truly going to be a fiduciary for your client, you need to lead them to the best examples of what things they can do to help get into escrow, not get into escrow. Being the best you can be, so you need to know lending options. So don't say, I don't know, talk to the lender. Educate yourself.
And which lenders have different programs?
Which lenders have different things? They all have a lot, right?
Credit unions versus...
What federal programs are coming out, and we'll get to that. So for most real estate agents and consumers, the term mortgage conjures with an image of a what? 30-year fixed rate, correct? When the real estate market is good, they may be the only type of loan that even gets discussed. Additionally, buyers often think that a low fixed interest rate is the only answer to their affordability question. But that's simply not true. There are always many products and tools available to help borrowers with affordability. Fortunately, these products often only get discussed during challenging times. We believe that professionals, we should always present the total picture to our clients. This playbook is designed to explain several mortgage programs available today, as well as some other hacks of their current mortgages to pay less over time. All information you could use for your clients. Another little part real quick. Passenger versus partnership. So when the market's good, typically we have a plethora of leads and we're doing business and we're good, right? So picture you're a bus driver, driving a bus. You're going in your direction. You're going to your escrows. What do? You say, get in, lender, follow me, right? Here, title company, jump in with me. Here, blah, 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 jump in with me, right? You're the driver of the bus because you have enough going on. There are your passengers, their passengership relationship with your vendors. Your local AC guy that you've been giving a ton of business to, right? Anybody can be a vendor. Your lawn guy that you always hook up, that you give a free lawn service for a year when they close escrow with you. Or whatever you do in your business, right? You have vendors that work with you. I'd be like, oh, that's a good idea. I should hire a lawn service for a year after I close escrow. That's a great closing gift. I just made it up. Might be a terrible gift. I have no idea, right? In times of challenge, though, we need to be able to move from a passengership to a partnership with these vendors, okay? In a strong market, it's okay because there's enough business transacting that everyone feels happy, and simply getting good service and kindness from those vendors is enough. But then the market shifts and the activities that it takes to secure a buyer or seller double or even triple. There are less total transactions to be done and the cost of leads and appointments goes up. It's this moment that their vendors need to move from passengership to partnership. So moving to a partnership. When the market changes, all of the partners must realign their value propositions to help support the acquisition of new customers and provide enhanced services to existing customers. They can do this in 4 ways. 1, provide market-specific information and marketing support that aids the real estate agent in better converting buyers and sellers to clients and keeping in touch with current clients. So if you have a lender, what kind of programs? How are they helping you touch your database? What are they doing to support you to be able to get more leads? 2, provide direct financial support to real estate agents in a RESPA-friendly and compliant way, meaning a lot of places can't give you money, but some can. What can they do to help you in marketing? 3, create new consumer-focused programs that match the needs of the market and cause more transactions to happen today. If your lender is not coming up with creative things for your clients that can't afford to get into a home, it might be time to look for a new lender. 4, provide leads and appointments to the real estate agent with motivated buyers and sellers. That's the best. What kind of relationship do you have with your vendors? Are they providing you with leads that you provided with them? If you went through a great couple of years and you gave your lender 30 to 40 transactions and you haven't gotten any back, just saying. Okay, although the list above relates to all ancillary services, mortgage rates are the forefront of this market change. So the rest of the playbook will be focused basically on mortgage hacks and that real estate agents can use to help get more business. Consumers think interest rate is the only solution to affordability, but that's not true. There's a lot of tools available to help. Unfortunately, these only come out during challenge time. I already read that. Let's move on. Okay. Thriving mortgage market. I'm going to go through about 7 steps, tell you what we're going to talk about, then we'll dive into each step more specifically. Please, if you have questions, interact, let's talk about it, we'll go from there. But step 1, we've talked about this a lot, understanding the market of the moment. Got to know where we're at, got to be realistic. Step 2, understand the current mortgage solutions available. The most commonly used mortgage solution is a 30 or 50-year fixed conventional loan. However, there are many products real estate agents familiarize themselves with. So we need to know these. Step 3, understand mortgage product hacks. Lenders are constantly creating and changing mortgage programs, so we're going to dive into those. Step 4, understand the mortgage hacks for our current homeowners. Why is that important?
In case they want to refinance, right?
Why would it be good to know some ways current homeowners could save money?
So they can pay down their equity.
Pay down their equity, buy investment properties, all kinds of stuff.
If you are truly the economist of choice, if I know you know a way for me to save thousands of dollars a year or hundreds of thousands of dollars on interest and you never told me, and you're supposed to be my real estate agent, just because I bought with you 3 years ago doesn't mean I might buy again in the future. You should still be in contact with me. These are great ideas for you to reach out to your clients and let them know, or email, or a newsletter, or whatever you're using, right? Showing that you're the professional. Step 5, know the mortgage products your lender offers. Step 6, market and advertise the products and hacks, right? If you learn all this information, but then you don't go use it to get more business, what's the point? Then step 6, market the products and hacks to your database. You let your clients know what's going on. All right, let's jump into step 1, understanding the market of the moment. Being the best fiduciary possible begins with being the best local economist of choice for those seeking information about the marketplace. Real estate agents perform at their best when they are either solving a problem that a consumer has or presenting an opportunity to a customer that can better their life. Both of these things are possible when the real estate agent have a deep understanding of their market dynamics and the real problems that need to be overcome for their customers to transact. So how do we find that out?
We asked them.
We ask them. We ask them. Would that be so terrible to call your clients and ask them what their concerns are with the market? Say, hey, I'm just doing a survey. I'm trying to figure out the market, what's going on. What's the number one thing preventing you from buying a home or investment property this year? Oh, it's probably interest rate, not enough money, right? Call them and ask. After asking enough people questions like these, answers will continue to match over and over time. You'll start hearing the same thing. We know this because the data is abundant. There's surveys conducted by the National Association of Realtors, California Association of Realtors. You can go look it up. You go to an NAR, you can look up their statistics. They do statistics to see what's going on in the market for you to use, right? Then local and national events, market centers, mortgage and title companies, KWRI, all those regular events that focus on uncovering the largest challenges the buyers and sellers are facing. If you come to the LORE meetings, we do it once a month. If you watch Gary Keller's annual vision speech, if you're going to family reunion, you watch his vision speech. After family reunion, they typically post it up on KW Connect. He goes over the national, even in Canada, what consumers are facing, right? Should you listen to a billionaire? Sometimes I feel like, they know what they're talking about. So it's great information, so jump in and use it. All right, so once we understand the market of the moment, for the most part, I feel like we do a good job teaching that. If you're unsure of what the market of the moment is right now, come into our LORE classes. We talk about it all the time. We know interest rates, we know things are slowing down. People are hesitant to buy, they're waiting for the crash, they don't know what's going on. A lot of misinformation, right? So understand the current mortgage solutions available. So when we talk about financing a home, we traditionally think of a 30-year fixed rate mortgage, right? According to a Washington-backed mortgage, Freddie Mac, 90% of homeowners still choose a 30-year fixed mortgage. This is largely because the way the mortgage has evolved over time. You guys know mortgages actually have been around since 1190? That's pretty crazy. The wave of immigrants in the United States in the 1800s, 1900s accelerated the need for mortgages due to lack of affordability housing. It used to be a 5-year repayment plan. It was a balloon payment, meaning that you pay only interest for 5 years and the debt became due, right? If that was still going on today, none of us would probably have homes, right? It would be very unaffordable. During the Great Depression, the new part of the New Deal, the federal government created the Federal Housing Administration, the FHA, right? What this did is allow the federal government to back loans. So banks could then sell their loans to the government, right, and give out more loans, and they gave way more options. So they had quality standards, lower down payment requirements, 15-year and 30-year, I always say this word wrong and I embarrass myself. Amortization. I always want to say amortization. I'm like, it's not wrong. You guys know what that means? How that works?
Yes.
Yes?
Oh, yeah.
30-year loan, you typically pay most of your interest up front. Almost all your payments are all interest. And then about year 12 or 13, you actually start paying down more towards your loan balance, right? So banks make most of their money up front. Most people refinance over time. You're just paying interest over time. Okay? The mortgage industry and the products it offers continues to evolve and change to meet the needs of the marketplace. Understanding these programs is vital for real estate agents to perform at their highest level fiduciary. Please be your fiduciary. Okay, so let's jump into some of these hacks. So let's get familiar with them. We're going to talk about today buy downs, 5-1 ARMs, some other ones, 15-year mortgage, 40-year mortgage, block shop through Keller Mortgage or one of your other financial partners, seller financing, trustee, wraparound mortgages, home buyers assistant programs. So we've talked about buy downs a lot. About last year in September, I started saying, buy downs. No one's doing it yet, right? Go out there, be advertising buy downs. Now on Facebook, I'm like, 2-to-1 buy down, new lender, buy down. I'm like, wow, look at that. Everyone's doing it, right? We kind of saw this coming. So there's a few common buy down products that a client can take advantage of, including an interest rate buy down, a 3-2-1 buy down, and a 2-to-1 buy down. While the following examples reference sellers paying the buy down specifically, buyers and lenders can also pay for the interest rate buy downs. So we're going to have examples. Every one of these examples is representing a house at $500,000 with a 5% down payment. Okay, we're just going to use the same example all the way through to make it simple. Why this is important for you guys, when you get this information, and you should be sharing this with your clients, is showing them options to save money up front, right? So value to the clients. We're going to talk about a traditional buy down first, okay? So the common misconception first, guys, is that a 1% buy down is a 1 point. Like, oh, you're going to get a point, it's 1%. It's not true. What's 1 point? It's a 1/4%.
It's a 1/4 point.
It's important to know that. What is the, actually, I'll get to that. But what is the, if you're at a 3% down FHA, how much can a seller contribute towards your closing? What's the max?
6%.
No, that's
That's closing costs.
6%,
closing costs,
as much as they want, right?
We'll get to it. It depends on how much they're putting down in the program, but it's 3%. So if you could get a 3% towards their closing costs, towards their buy down, right? Let's see how much money that can save them. So here's how the math works on a 30-year mortgage. This is our traditional, no points, just buying a house at $500,000, 5% down, with a 7% interest rate, right? No buy down. Their monthly payment. Their total interest over the life of the loan. Now here's an important question, guys. A lot of people are really worried about monthly payments, right? Monthly payments. Not everybody though. Question is, what's more important to you, to save a little bit on monthly payment or paying interest total over time?
Total.
Total.
What's the total amount?
I'd rather pay another $30, $40 a month to save myself a couple $100,000 over a life of a loan.
Exactly.
But most people don't think that way. It's how low can I get my payment? Right? Let's drive the payment lower so I can afford it monthly. Well, maybe, how many of us get coffee every day? Starbucks? You got a Starbucks in front of you? $5 a day, let's say you do that every day. Well, maybe if you just cut out coffee every other day, right? And you could save over time, and we'll show what that looks like. So let's say we got a 1 point buy down, 0.25%. So our interest rate at 7, we're now at 6.75. Our monthly payment, it saves ourselves about, what is that? About $60, $79, right? The interest over the life of the loan,
It's lower.
almost $30,000 lower. You're paying almost $30,000 less over the life of the loan for getting just a $4,000 or $5,000 credit. So Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, what's more important to you over time? Would you like to save $30,000? That's a new car over the life of the loan. So let's look if we could get a 3 points. Right? $500,000 at 5%, but they get that interest rate down to 6.25. Our payment down is $2,925. Our interest over the life of the loan is $577,000. They're saving almost $85,000 over the life of the loan. It's a lot of money. That's a down payment for their first investment property.
So say they can't get approved for anything better or do buy downs at the sale, what I always educate my2buyers is to save some of your money in your own account and then make 14 payments a year. So do 12 payments with the bank.
We'll get to
two
that.
Two extra payments on.
And I got breakdowns of what that looks like with the savings too. But yes,
Okay.
it's a really great idea.
Yeah.
We'll get to that, because that is a really good idea, and we'll talk about it. Okay, 3-2-1 seller buy down. So how it works is a 3-2-1 buy down is concession of buyers that reduces the buyer's interest rate and monthly payment for the first 3 years. So how it works, guys, is a 3-2-1 buy down is I'm going to pay the difference in the interest and saving the money up front. So I save money the first 3 years. And every year it gets a little bit more and more expensive. So you have your traditional buy down or your traditional purchase price here, right? But we're going to be doing a 3-2-1 buy down. The second column is looking at Mr. Seller, we could lower your house $25,000 to get it sold. Or we could look at giving towards closing cost and $21,000, saving you about $3,500 to make more money. But we might sell the buyer a significant amount of money that gets them into the home. So there are options. So look at our first year. Our interest rate is supposed to be 7%, but we're paying down to have an interest rate lowered by 3 for that first year. So we get a 4% interest rate. Our total monthly payment jumps from $3,160 to $2,268, saving $892 a month, costing the seller $21,000 total. So the seller pays the buy down, right? The buyer saves $892 a month, helping them get into the home and feel more comfortable about spending the amount of money. The second year, now the interest rate goes up to 5%, because remember, we bought it down in 3 years, so it's 3%, 2%, 1% cheaper. They save $610, and then the third year, it's $312, and then the fourth year, it goes to our traditional price. What would be the purpose of trying to get your buyer into this?
They could do it to the home. We can refi later.
We could always refi later,
Yeah.
right? So if interest rates come to a point where they feel comfortable, they can always lock in that price. So this is a great way if we expect interest rates to settle or come down over the next couple of years, which we kind of do. They're probably going to hover around between 5.5% to 6.5% for some time, right? So it's a great option. Over 10 years, that would be a savings of $21,768 for the buyer. So it's a great option. A 2-to-1 buy down is the same thing, but you're only going 2 years. So instead of going 3 years, you only go 2 years. It's cost the seller a little bit less money, and a buyer will save a little bit less money because it's only through a 2-year period. The 2-to-1 buy downs are a lot more common with a lot of lenders right now. They're all talking about 2-to-1 buy downs, right? But this is a great opportunity for you to tell seller. Now, here's the caveat: buyers still have to qualify for the full amount over the life of the loan. So if they don't qualify, it's not a way to get them to qualify for more. But if one of their buyer's concerns is saving money up front, okay? Limits for interest part. So this is what I was talking about, contributions. So principal or secondary home, the loan to value ratio, 90%. The maximum they contribute is 3%. So the max they can do is a 0.75 on the buy down. If the loan to value is higher, it goes to 6%, 75% or less, 9%, all ratios at 2% for investment properties. So you can get more depending on the loan to value, okay? So that's where you talk to your lender to see what we contributed to understand what that looks like. Where does a lot of our people reside? In that percentage. Okay. 5-to-1 ARMs. Who knows what adjustable rate mortgage is? Few of us. Agents that were around during the last shift, they were very common. How have ARMs changed from this time to last time?
Stricter on approvals?
There's like, the rate can't just go like super crazy high. There's like a limit where
They limited and put in rules to help people, because last time there was a lot of craziness.
Yeah.
AMRs, ARMs, AMR, go to save some people.
Arlo's.
Yeah. They have a really bad reputation because a lot of people have lost their homes because of them, because interest rates spiked, their payments jumped up, right? So there was a lot of concerns with those. And in a good market, you really don't need an ARM, right? They're not, unless you were going to be only in the house for a couple years. But ARMs, really, there's federal guidelines now that prevent a lot of the things that happened in the past, they no longer happen, right? So an ARM is a type of adjustable rate mortgage loan with a fixed interest rate for the first 5 years. After the first 5 years, the 5-to-1 ARM switches to an adjustable rate for the remainder of the loan. So the interest rate for the years 1 through 5 is fixed. Generally, it's much cheaper than our current rate. And then then it can adjust every year after that. Year 6 of the life of the loan is subject to change every year. Rates are subject to the change based on the state of the economy and the cost of borrowing. Usually, this is where you want to check with your lender, the amount that the rate can go up is capped. So a big difference. So if the rate you get is 4% right now, if it does go up, the most it can go up typically is 0.25%. So it goes 4 to 4.25. It can't jump up to 8. Usually. So double check with your lender to make sure that's still the case. Value to buyers. An ARM can be a smart financing choice for buyers who are planning to keep the loan for a limited period of time or can afford any potential increases in the interest rate over time. So if you're moving, if you're not going to be here that long, if you are looking at, I really think the interest rates are going to go down and settle. So an ARM might be a good choice for me, right? Do the math. Do the math on this. My brother called me. He's in the middle of building a home, and he was asking me about on his loan going into an ARM for his construction loan, and what that monthly savings would do, and what it will go up over time in the caps. And so I said, let's just do the math, man. Let's plan it out. He's saving $418 a month by doing the ARM until that time period. I think it's 3 years before his adjust. We did the math out, and even with the rate that it goes up, if he doesn't refinance into a time, the money saved was worth it to him because he's financially responsible enough to now use that money to other investments. So he's taking that money, going into another account of the savings, and he's going to use that money towards other investments because it's just the return is there. He's financially responsible enough to do that. He's not going to go spend it on something silly, but it made sense for him to do it, right? There's also 7-1 arms, fixed for 7 years. There's 7-6 arms, so 7 years, and after that, every 6 months it changes. There's a lot of option out there to get your interest rate lower. 15-year mortgage. Guys, these are great. These are really a great option for people to save a ton of money if saving is the most important thing to them. If you look at a 30-year purchase price, $500,000, a down payment 5%, 7% interest rate. The monthly payment is $3,160. The total investment over time, interest, is $662,000. Right? We don't realize we're paying over $1 million for this home in interest over 30 years. That's a lot of money. So if someone is financially responsible and has the money, a 15-year note is a great option for them. At $500,000 at 15 years, 5% down payment, 6% interest rate, you typically get about a whole interest rate less if you are in a 15-year. Not just a point, but 4 points less if you're at a 15-year. Now the mortgage payment is higher. It's almost about $780 higher, right? Look at the interest paid over the life of the loan. $246,498. You save almost a whole nother house worth of money. Do your buyers understand this? Because if like, I just want to, it's better to push yourself and make yourself uncomfortable to save $416,000. What else also happens? Because does most people keep their houses over 30 years? Or do most people move every 3 to 7 years? Most people move, correct?
Or they refi sooner.
Well, what happens in a 30-year if you move after 8 years? Let's say you're 8 years in the house and you're going to move and you have a 30-year note.
Your note's the same price.
Your note's the same.
Yep.
You're like, I've been paying for 8 years and I still owe almost exactly the same. It goes down a little, but not a lot. What happens after 8 years when you move into 15-year? You've been paying down your principal a lot. So you have a lot more equity. So not only do you pay way less interest, you have way more equity in that home. It's on here on the bottom. If you compare the two loans on the same amount, amortization, but so if you go to, gosh, where is it? They say it different, and it jacks me up every time. Anyways, gosh, I'm a great presenter. I can't even say the most important word in real estate. At 15 to 30 years, the day you pay off the 15-year note, you'd still owe 72% of the principal on a 30-year note. 15-year notes accelerate equity buildup and minimize interest paid. Over 30-year notes hit a sweet spot of monthly affordability, hence their popularity. People want it cheaper, right? They want a monthly payment. It's way not a good decision, financially. It's just math. 40-year note. You guys hear about the 40-year loans? No. You hear it on the radio?
I've heard about them, yeah.
It's always been around.
They've always been
They're
around.
advertising. I've heard it now a couple times.
They're pushing it.
Ready? Do not let your clients do a 40-year note. There's your broadcast. Go put it on YouTube, Facebook, whatever you want to do. Let's look at it. 30-year versus 40-year. The 5%, you get an interest rate of 7. Typically on a 40-year note, you're going to get about 2 points higher on average, right? Your monthly payment, $3,160 or $3,125. You save $35 a month. You pay $1 million in interest for 10 more years.
Double the price of your house.
It's a scam. It's a salesy, make it feel better, maybe qualify a little bit more. Don't do it. So, if you have clients like, what about a 40-year? Just show them this. Say, look, well, let's do the math. It doesn't make a lot of sense to save yourself $35 a month. Or even if it's $100 a month. Let's not do it. Lock shop through Keller Mortgage and other financial places do this for you. How Keller Mortgage works is they allow a buyer to get pre-approved for the loan, lock in their rate for up to 120 days while they shop for the property. Borrowers have an option to reset their interest rate to the current market rates, 60-day lock period. Once the borrower has an executed purchase agreement and isn't within 60 days of closing. This is available for fixed rate conventional loans and primary secondary homes. Do we think interest rates will go up over the next 3 months?
Yes.
We don't know for certain, but they keep raising, and unfortunately we keep seeing higher inflation. So they kind of pretty much said they're going to.
Just not as crazy as before.
Not as crazy as before, but they probably will. So locking in your buyer if you're unconcerned for up to 120 days, and if it happens to come down, they could reset. It's a good option. It's to alleviate some of their concerns. Seller financing. Seller financing. Gary Keller tells a story of his parents were teachers, and he couldn't understand as he got older how his parents paid for all 3 of his siblings to go through college. And he didn't like click in his head till he got older, like, wait a minute, you're on a teacher's salary, how did you afford to pay all through college? He asked his dad said it was 1 piece of land. He owned it outside of Austin, Texas. They owned a pretty good piece of land. The dad owned it outright. He sold it, seller carried, to a person. The person paid for the property for about 3 years, then stopped paying. So his dad had to foreclose on the home and sold it again. About 3 years, the person stopped paying, he had to foreclose and take the property back. Each time he did this, he gets a big chunk down payment. The person stopped paying it, so he foreclosed, took the property back. He did it 7 times. 7 times on 1 piece of property, paid for 3 kids to go to college because the people stopped paying the payment on the piece of land. He said the last person, he felt so bad, he worked with them to get out a deal because he didn't want to have to go through the process again to get them to have the home. Seller financing, it's scary. Let them talk to their accountants and a lawyer to make them feel very comfortable about it. But seller financing is you typically you own the property outright, you are going to be the bank. Well, if someone defaults on the loan, you still get the asset. You get the asset back. So you charge a down payment of 10, 15%, you carry the note. If they happen to not pay it, you get it back. Otherwise, you could be the 30% bank that makes $500,000 over the life of the loan. Does that make sense? Like, that's a win. Do the math for them. Look, if they pay you this payment over time at a 5% interest rate, you're going to make $610,000 over the life of the loan. In interest, on top of the sales price. That's a good deal. A lot of people don't want to carry the asset. They're scared about what that looks like. They get it, but there's a foreclosure process to get the asset back if the person doesn't pay it. All right. Other common seller financing agreements, land contracts, lease to own. I'm going to talk for a minute, we're getting low on time, on assumable mortgages. Are FHA loans assumable? Every time, yes, 100%. Are VA loans assumable?
Yes.
Do you have to be a military veteran to assume it? Wrong, you do not.
They used to be.
No?
I assumed one. What are you talking of? I assume a veteran loan. That's what I have in my house.
Yeah, you don't have to be a veteran to assume it though.
That's right. Yeah.
The veteran will lose one of their rights for the loan. They won't be able to get another VA loan to do that, right? But if they're willing to do it, at that time it makes sense. If someone bought a house in the last 3 years, do they have a better interest rate than currently today?
Yes.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, how long?
3 years.
3.
Oh,
3.
yeah.
Slightly
So if
better.
someone's 2 years ago, 1 year ago, they have to move,
Absolutely.
right? People have to move. So maybe their house is worth $50,000 more, but you could assume the loan at a way lower interest rate and get a second, or have $60,000 to give them cash, and you get the home with their rate locked in at the 2.5% over the next 30 years. Right? So when you're looking at the listing table, when you're sitting down with your sellers, what kind of loan did you get? Is it assumable? Smart agents are putting that on the MLS right now. Loan at this, it's assumable at 2.75%.
Nice.
I called my lender to ask what the second would be on $150,000. I was curious. Did the math. It's high. It's like 10% interest rate. I still saved like $300 a month if I assumed and got a second at $150,000 at 10%, because the monthly payment was so low on the other $500,000. Does that make sense?
What was the second year
There's $150,000 at 10% on a second if I was to do that.
for down payment or?
No, that would be the difference of what the house was worth and what they still owed on the
Oh, got it.
owned on the loan.
Oh, got it.
Just curious,
That way it don't default.
right? Okay, so these are the things you need to be thinking about when you're going through transactions, how to get people into home. When you're showing them, hey, is their loan assumable? Some conventional loans are assumable, some aren't. Like, oh, it's an FHA, I don't know. Yes, it is. Can you ask them what the payment is and what that looks like? they might have a great rate. You might be able to assume it, get a rate for the difference. Trust deeds and wraparound mortgages. So this is kind of what we talked about. How a all-inclusive trust deed is formed in a secondary financing for the purchase of the real estate property, and an AITD is the abbreviation. Is a new deed of trust that includes the balance due on the existing note plus the additional loan amount for the purchase, also known as a wraparound mortgage. So what I just talked about, getting a second, if they own, it's a $500,000 home. They owe $400,000 left on it, but it's a great interest rate. I assume the $400,000, but I'm $100,000 short. Some lenders may offer a wraparound loan to include both of them. The $100,000 is now the difference of what I have to owe, and a different interest rate than the $400,000 that I assumed. Make sense?
Yes.
Finding the lenders and people to do this. Value to sellers. It could expand the buyer pool because sellers can sell the home and buyers that may not have otherwise qualified for the home loan at the full purchase price. The seller benefits from the interest they are financing and the difference between the interest paid to the lender and what the seller collects. Value to the buyers. Let's look at the example. The seller agrees to sell the property at $250,000. The buyer pays 10% down and takes the loan at 8% for a difference of $225,000. The seller still owes $100,000 at 6%. The seller makes a profit on the difference in interest paid by the buyer in the originating loan. That got super confusing, but basically, go ahead.
Isn't like if a buyer assumes the seller's loan, my question is, does the seller make more proceeds?
They can, because they can have the interest, they can have a higher purchase price. Like, look, I'm willing to do
They don't have to pay
this.
that loan off anymore, so it's like, they get 100% of the proceeds?
No, because the buyer is paying towards that loan, and then whatever's left over they get.
I see.
Yeah, so no, you don't get more, you wouldn't get more proceeds, but it gives you more flexibility, and maybe if they're willing to do something. So let's say they, that same example, $500,000. The seller, that $100,000 doesn't own the bank, doesn't own anything. They could seller finance that portion for $150,000. You give me $10,000, or $20,000 as a down payment, you assume my loan for the $400,000, right? Now we still have a difference of $80,000. I will carry that note, but I don't want to do it for only $80,000. I want to do it for $100,000. So really the sales price will make it $600,000. But it's still way less money for the buyer. They may be willing to do that.
Better interest rate too.
So it's just, there's always solutions. We just got to get creative, right? And a lot of these things, like you can't do some of them in some areas, or sometimes you can't. Banks won't allow you to do a second or put a note or a lien on the property and an individual. Like there is things where some banks won't allow, so you have to talk to the bank. Here, these options. There's another story I heard from Simon Sinek, same guy yesterday, and I really liked it. And he talked about that the mind is not. It is not possible for the mind to not think about a negative. Let me give you an example. Don't think about an elephant. You thought about an elephant. It just happens, right? It's impossible to do this. I was riding a bike once, Mammoth riding mountain bike ridings, and I remember I was going down the trail and I saw like this rock coming over to the trail, and the whole time I'm like, oh, don't hit the rock, don't hit the rock, don't hit the rock. I hit the rock and I flew over my handlebars, and I was like, gosh dang it, like why did I hit the rock? And I remember I was telling myself not to do that, and my friend's dad was there, and he goes, you never focus on the rock, you focus on the trail past it and you'll miss it. When you focus on the obstacle, you're gonna hit it. And I was like, oh, that makes sense. And so I remember like always looking at the trail, and it really did help me. It's the same thing when you're snow skiing or snowboarding. If you're going through the trees, like don't hit the tree, don't hit the tree. You're gonna hit the tree. It's the same thing in life. Oh, I can't do this because this, I can't do it. There's gonna be something that gets in the way. Guess what? You'll find something get in the way. Focus on the solution. How can we find a solution? A lot of times we can get creative and find stuff. That's the main point of this, by the way. I'm going a little bit long, and this is taking longer than I expected. And we have the other committee meeting right now, so I'm going to go real quickly through the rest of this. You have the template for you guys, so you can read through it. I apologize. I thought this was only going to take me 30 minutes. When I practiced it, it did, but sometimes we start talking, things go down. Home Buyers Assistance Programs, go online, go to usgov.buyinghomes, see what programs are out there. Your lender's offering it. There's a lot of different things you could ask about it. Understanding the mortgage hacks for homeowners. This is, read through this, guys. It's really good. Some of the things he talked about, way to save money. Basically, use the following terms. One extra payment a year could save someone $156,000, makes the loan go off 24 years instead of 30, and saves them a ton of money. Guess what, buyer? Here's what you're going to do. Every year when you get your tax return, you're going to do one extra payment. I'm going to save you $156,000. Does that sound good? So every year in January, I want you to make one extra mortgage payment. No matter what, in stone. Look at that. I just saved you $156,000. I only want 10% of that as a thank you. So just go ahead and write me a check every year at the same time. Bi-monthly interest payments. Pay every 2 weeks. That's it. Every 2 weeks, send a payment. Same payment every 2 weeks. You end up saving $168,000 a year. Every 2 weeks. Because there's not an actual, once a month, there's actually more weeks in the month. You actually end up paying an extra payment and plus some. Alright? And you save $168,000. Round up payment. If you have $3,160 payment, round it up to $3,200 and send that payment. You save $32,000 over the life of the loan. Send these to your database, guys. $1 a month plan. Each month, increase it by $1. So if your payment is $900, you pay $901, then $902, then $903. You end up saving yourself a ton of money over the life of the loan. Use surprise money. Anytime you get a bonus, surprise, make an extra payment. One extra closing you weren't expecting, make an extra payment. HELOC loans for home equity line of credit, we know that. Remove PMI. Guess what? I'm at 20% conventional loan. Why did the bank remove my PMI payment?
Should have to ask.
They don't care about you. They want the extra money.
Exactly.
Call. Ask for it. Boom. PMI's gone. $180 a month. Saved. Get rid of escrow accounts. Some banks will let you get rid of an escrow account. You can take control of that. Many people aren't responsible enough to then go pay their own taxes and pay their own insurances, but they will do it if you have a track record of paying payments at time. So if you want to keep that extra money every month and figure out your own way to invest it, as long as you're responsible enough to pay your taxes at the end of the year. But it's like, hello, surprise, it's like $3,000. It's a lot of money.
Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Live in the investment property. We know that. Refinance a shorter term mortgage. That's another great option. Make payments with a credit card. Here's a great hack. Some banks let you pay with PayPal. PayPal lets you pay with a credit card. Put in your credit card to Costco or wherever. Pay with your credit card and pay it off. Guess what you get?
Bonus. Cash points.
Points.
Flyer miles.
Flyer miles. Everything. Every month. Boom. Go get yourself something nice at Costco. I say that because I got like $500 coming to me. I'm like, woohoo, I'm gonna go buy crap at Costco. I'm gonna be able to get like 4 things of cereal. Know your mortgage products or lenders offer. Market advertising products. I'm way too slow. Case studies. Yeah. Okay. Sorry guys, I went a little bit over today. There's a packet that you have that has all that information. Take it, read it over, understand it, then send it out to your clients and database.
Is it a digital package you're going to share with us?
It's digital. You already have the email. It said you need this for the office meeting today. I'm pretty sure that's all right. There's a lot of examples of saving money. There's my bike story. I was going to do it at the end. I forgot about that. Hey, that's good. That's exactly what I
for
look
that
like.
tree.
Exactly what I looked like as I went head over heels with my. Anyways, guys, have a great day. Thank you so much. I hope this was helpful. I will see you guys next week with something that we're doing. Stick around.